there's going to be a time where things are going to be really tough. And when you're older, and to look back and remind yourself why you played the game in the first place is something that can be a huge motivational factor. I didn't do it for the money, nah. I didn't do it for the fame. I didn't do it for the glory, nah. I did it for the love of the game. That's like that's just like female football right there, you know?
Welcome, Sports Nation, to Sports DTM, the sports channel where we call sports down the middle. You can expect the latest in sports news, views, and reviews from our resident analysts. No sports topic is too controversial, and no team or player is above criticism. So just smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on our balanced offering of riveting sports content. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Welcome to Sports DTM.
Greetings, Sports DTM fans, and welcome to another episode of Sports Down the Middle, the channel of undiluted sports content. We're extremely happy to welcome to our Sports DTM studio, Reggae Girl, Tiffany Cameron. And Tiffany, as you know, born in Canada, representing Jamaica now. She's currently playing in Hungary. The pronunciation of this club.
You want Tiffany to pronounce it first?
I can help you out. Ferencváros.
She has played 17 games, scoring 9 goals, and she is in our Sports DTM studio to just talk to us. Our first reggae girl to grace the Sports DTM studio, and we're extremely happy to have Tiffany with us. So, Tiffany, welcome to Sports DTM.
Thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure to be the first reggae girl, and I'm excited to sit down and have a nice conversation with you guys and answer some questions. And yeah, just let you guys into my world.
Welcome. And as usual, whenever we're interviewing anybody, we ask what team they support. So which international team you support, football, whichever sports or whichever other sport you also follow, and the team that you support.
All right, so I have a couple of teams. I'm a little bit different. So in terms of football, I used to love Barcelona. I still do, but now I find like the older I'm getting, I just watch football to watch football, like because there's so many different teams that are great. So I love watching PSG. I'm a huge Mbappe fan. He's amazing. I love his foot skill, and he's just always putting on a show. So he's one of my favorite players. And of course, Neymar now. Neymar was playing for Barcelona. I did love watching Neymar and Messi play together. That was cool, but it's nice that he changed his environment, you know. Of course, sometimes players need to get a little bit out of their comfort zone and try new things.
Yes.
So it's kind of cool to see Neymar play for PSG now. And just seeing that connection, Mbappe and Neymar together, that's amazing to watch. I really, really like watching our men's team play, Ferencváros. I'm like a huge fan now.
Yes.
I'm kind of like, you know, I mean, I have no choice.
Naturally, yeah.
Anytime they play, I'm always watching. I know a couple of the men's players as well too, so I'm always cheering them on. But yeah, I would say Ferencváros, Barcelona, and PSG are my favorite teams to watch, football teams to watch. Other than that, like I don't really watch any other sports. Sometimes if the Raptors are playing, you know, Toronto, I'll throw on the game and watch. But I'm more so like a hardcore football fan. So.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got involved in football.
All right, so I actually started when I was 9 years old, and originally I actually wanted to play hockey, which is it's very popular in Canada. And I remember my mom telling me, "No, Tiffany, it's too expensive. Find something else." I'm like, all right. Well, I also really enjoyed playing soccer at the time as well too. So I'm like, okay, well, how about soccer? And you know, I strongly believe that it's okay sometimes to have a plan B, C, or D. Because technically, soccer was my plan B at the time because I really wanted to play hockey. And I'm not ashamed to say that because some people are like, oh, yeah, I started when I was 2 or 3, and I started a little bit late. And,
Yes.
Before that, I was into gymnastics, basketball, swimming, a bunch of different things. And I just gravitated towards soccer. I always would play with the boys like during recess time in elementary school, and they're all like, Tiff, like, you're really good, you should play soccer. I'm like, all right, let's try this thing competitively. And I took off from there. I played with Erin Mills. It's the club team, North Mississauga first, and then Erin Mills. And then from there, Team Ontario, Team Canada, and then I went to Ohio State for 4 years, which was amazing. Graduated with a strategic communications degree. And then I started my pro career, which is great. That took off. We'll get into how many countries I've played in. I've also played for Canada, of course. Went to under-17 World Cup in New Zealand. That was an awesome experience. And then I transitioned eventually to play for Team Jamaica. So it has been quite a roller coaster for me, but a great one. And I'm looking forward to telling you guys a little bit more details about why I chose to go where. And I'm excited.
So, Tiffany, when I heard you mention your mother, I thought you were going to say your mother told you that the great Shabarang said that Jamaicans don't play hockey, they eat hockey.
Right. I should have said that.
Yes.
That's funny.
And you were also the top scorer for your university.
Yes. Going in, actually, so they recruited me as a striker. But, sometimes when you go into a new environment, coaches see you in different positions. So eventually I actually played for, I think, for 3 years as a wide midfielder because my coach was like, wow, you're really fit. We don't have enough players in that position right now, and I think this will be great fit for you. I'm like, man, because I'm further away from goal, So I think the first year I scored 4 goals, second year 7, I think, and then third was 9, and then finally I was like, look, I want to do something special before I leave this university. Like, I want to break the school record. So I had to score, I think, 20 goals or so. It was kind of crazy because the record for one season was 13. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna score 20 goals. And my coach was like, oh yeah, like you have to put me up striker though first. So she allowed me to go play striker, and I ended up scoring 21 goals that year, and that was an amazing experience for me.
Great.
And, it took doing the extra bit before training sessions. I would go 30 minutes beforehand, and I would work on my finishing. And I encourage players, work on your repetition because, you drill it in your head the way to kick a ball properly, and it's just good to practice those things because when you get into a game situation, you'll be able to finish, So I just had repetition, and then I ended up doing something amazing. And no one has beaten the record yet, so I hope things like that.
That's awesome, and we hope that it will remain for a very long time unless another Jamaican breaks the record. But
I mean, I'd be like, all right, okay, that's the only exception,
But as you mentioned, your coach asking you to play wide right. I know sometimes players are placed in position that they're not comfortable with. But how was the transition for you, and what was your energy like having to play out in a position that you're not comfortable with?
Well, at first it was tough because it's a lot more running in that wide midfield position, and as a striker, originally as a striker, I'm used to those quick explosive movements, but with the wide midfielder, you're constantly going up and down, so it was an adjustment. I knew I was fit, but I knew I was about to get way fitter playing in that position. So at first, I was a little bit annoyed, but I also knew that it was a privilege that I was in that position, I got a full-time scholarship, and school is so expensive these days.
Yes.
Back then. So I was like, you know what? I'm getting paid to be here, so I need to just embrace this feeling of discomfort. And I know my coach knows what she's doing, so I just have to trust the process and just go with the flow. So that's kind of how I moved into things.
That's an awesome perspective, Tiffany. I know you also could have played for Canada because you represented them at the youth level. Why you chose Jamaica?
So this is an actual interesting story. Back in, I think it was 2014 or so, Coach Busby actually reached out to me, and he was like, Tiff, I know like you're still kind of into Team Canada and stuff, but we were wondering like if you're interested in playing for Jamaica at this time. And I was still quite young at the time, and
Right.
I was still part of the pool of players. I think signed a contract to play in Germany. I was really excited about that. And with Team Canada, they have these requirements. If you're playing in a top league, then you will be in the pool of players that you can get selected to go into camp. So I was like, this does interest me, because he was telling me Jamaica's future plans. I mean, they weren't at the time where they wanted to be, but he said, it's going to take a couple of years to get there. And at this time I was still young, and I was like, I don't think I'm ready yet to make the transition, but I'm going to keep in contact with you guys, and I think it's something that I'd be interested in possibly. So then I'll never forget this. I was in Sweden, and Nicole McClure, she's one of my really, really good friends.
Yes.
We were messaging back and forth and stuff. She was just telling me about qualifications and stuff, like some things that were going on, and and we were talking about her like playing time and stuff. I'm like, don't worry, you're gonna get your chance. Like, just stay positive, stay ready. She's like, yeah, I know, Tiff. So I'll never forget. I was up at like I think 2 a.m. watching the game, Jamaica versus Panama, and when she went in for the penalties, I'm like, ooh, I saw her face. I'm like,
Yes.
Nicole's ready. My girl's ready, man. So when she made those saves, I was like, let's go. I was so excited for her. And after the game, like I was just bigging her up on social media, like, that's my friend. She did it and stuff. Then I made a joke. I was like, ooh, I'm like, maybe I should come play for Jamaica. And we were laughing about it and stuff. But like, I also knew that was in my head years ago anyways, but we were just like, we were laughing about it and stuff. Like, maybe this could be a thing, but I was like, we'll see what happens. Then Coach Busby emailed me literally like 5 hours after they qualified for the World Cup. And I was like, wow. So here we are again in the same predicament as we were before. And, a lot of years went by, and I was still on the Canadian pool of players, still getting certain benefits from Team Canada and stuff. But then I was like, this is another opportunity that might never come again. And I'm like, the fact that the Reggae Girlz have made history, how amazing would it be to be a part of that? Both of my parents were born in Jamaica, and just to represent like our culture, that's a great opportunity. So I said, you know what? He's asking a second time now. And I could, if I wanted to, be comfortable and stay with Canada and be on the pool of players and hope to get called up, because I did get called up in 2017 for, it was like an acceleration camp and stuff. But it was a while, maybe like about a year or so. So I'm like, you know what? I think it's time to start a new journey. And it was very uncomfortable for me, because I was like, you know what? I can never go back to Canada again. And I already knew Canada is ready to best in the world. But I was like, I'd rather be on a team that I can share my experience with the girls and add more value than stay with, say, Team Canada and be on the pool of players and just still wait and see if I get called up or not. So it was one of those situations that was uncomfortable for me, but I knew that I had to make this change in my career, and I knew that it was going to be the right choice. And I'm so happy looking back that I made this decision, you know, and that's why I encourage players, when you're feeling uncomfortable about a situation, that's okay. Like, you should feel uncomfortable because that's where the biggest room for growth will be. So I'm so happy. You know, here's the thing. Even the fact of me changing in, like, I'm playing for Team Jamaica, there was no guarantee I was going to the World Cup. I still had to go and fight for my position and fight for my spot. So there was no, it's not like Busby was like, oh, Tiff, you're for sure going to make the team. No, I have to grind as well too. And all of us have to grind to get there. So it was one of those things. And I was also coming back from an injury as well too. So there were a lot of things that were going on with me. I had surgery, and Buju helped me, and yeah, it was just the process of getting there took a while, but I was happy about my decision at the end of the day.
And that's an extraordinary story, Tiffany, and we're extremely happy that you made that change. But did you had a Jamaican passport before, or you had to go and apply for one? And what was the process like?
I had to apply for a Jamaican passport, and that was so stressful because of course you had to apply. Well, first you have to get the citizenship part was the stressful part of it because they're very particular about what's on the paper, and it has to be word for word. You have to get original documents and stuff. So I was going back and forth with my mom, like, oh, I'm gonna need this documentation. Like, I'm not sure where that is, and it was stressful. Because there was the time where I brought something up and it wasn't the original. It was like a copy of the original or something like that. And they said no. So it was very stressful, but hey, I had to do what I had to do. And I eventually got cleared, but I was one of the later players who got cleared on,
So, okay. As a late entry to the team, I know from time to time we hear persons saying that they didn't feel welcome, but how was the energy in the camp for you, and did you feel welcome by the rest of the players?
Welcome. I felt welcome, and you know, it was mostly, I think, because of Nicole, because I knew her before I joined the team, and she was like, honestly, Tiff, like, our team's amazing. You're gonna just laugh all the time when you're here, you know, and you're gonna have fun on the field. You know, the girls are very creative and stuff. And as soon as I got in the environment, I just felt the vibe, and I was like, wow, like, I feel like I'm home. I don't even have to try and like assimilate to anything, because you know, sometimes when you get put in a different environment, you have to like just kind of switch up a little bit of how you are, so it's appropriate.
Yes.
Like, I didn't have to make no tweaks. Like, I walked right in, and I was like, all right, yes, like, I felt great. So, and the girls were great, and the coaching staff as well too. They were awesome.
So you had no issue. You had no issue with the language. What?
No, because come on now. I know I'm born in Canada, but I have a ton of Jamaican friends, and I mean, my family, like, we're Jamaican, so I'm around that, you know. So that wasn't a tough thing. I mean, I can't really speak Patois, but I can understand it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Tiffany, you scored a few goals for Jamaica. What was it like scoring your first goal against Cuba?
Oh, that game was actually a lot of fun. I was relieved. Because, you know, I think when you go on a new team as a striker, sometimes the first goal is the hardest to score.
Right.
You know, so I remember Trudy, she gave me an amazing cross. And then, I one time finished it, and I was just so happy. I'm like, all right, like, this is just the start now to most likely many more goals.
To push on, okay. Yeah. So you said earlier that you had to meet the team. What was it like? What was the experience like at the World Cup?
Wow. The amount of fans that we got at the World Cup, I was shocked. But here's the thing, the hype beforehand, like, we knew that we were really, like, people really knew who we were after, you know. But, like, when we got there, I was just looking at the crowd, especially, like, I'll never forget the Brazil game. There were a lot of fans, you know. So that was an amazing experience. You know, it's always nice to kind of get like the adrenaline from the crowd, you know, whether they're cheering for us or against us. It's awesome. And I was just so proud to be there and happy to be there. And, you know, the girls are really excited. And I also felt too, I'm like, this is not going to be the last time we're playing on the world stage. Like, I'm very confident that this team can do that again. You know, I just think we need to get together a little bit more in camps and stuff, and hopefully we have one this year to build up the chemistry, because we have a lot of talent and we have a lot of players now, you know, playing abroad and playing in America. So we're looking good.
Yeah, that answered my follow-up question, but you guys are ready and prepared to repeat and go to another World Cup, basically.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're excited.
Good stuff. So have you guys been playing any matches?
Oh, we haven't had a match since Olympic qualifiers. So that was, I think our last one was February last year. So it's been a while. And, you know, I know the Federation has tried to put something together. We were supposed to have camp in Spain, but it unfortunately didn't work out. So now I'm hoping we have something soon, because like the group needs to get together. We need to find a way. And of course, I know it's difficult with the pandemic and different travel restrictions and stuff. But yeah, hopefully we'll figure something out, because it starts from now. We can't wait till like a year from now to try and put the group together and you know, make a World Cup team. It's tough.
Yeah, I agree. We need to get together because the FIFA rankings came out and we're out of the top 50, you know, and I don't think that should have happened, seeing that we are such a quality team, right? Have you ever experienced racial abuse on the pitch?
Oh yes, I have. So I'll never forget this. I think it was in 2016. I was playing for a team in Germany, and we were waiting. You know how both teams have to walk out sometimes with like maybe there's a group or a little kids or something.
Yeah.
So there was a special needs group, and there was one of the girls, and I can understand a little bit of Deutsch. So one of the girls were saying, I don't want to hold a black girl's hand, no, like switch with me. I know, this was right before the game.
Sad, very sad.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was sad about it. And then this was a powerful moment, though. There was another little girl who heard that, and then she just came and held my hand. I was like, well, I literally almost cried. And then the girl who was, of course, being racist towards me, she saw that the other girl held my hand, and then she came and held my hand. So I guess she was like, oh, okay, well, she's not going to hurt me. It's okay. And that was a really powerful moment. And it was right before the game, and then we walked out. And I mean, I told some of my teammates what happened, because some of them weren't really paying attention, and they're like, oh, Tiff, we're so sorry that happened to you. Like, that should not happen, you know. And then then they said, it's okay, Tiff, you're gonna be okay. I'm like, yeah, like I have to just take a deep breath. I'm like, yo, it's game time. Like, I can't get too in my feelings, like, because that was a negative situation, and then it turned a little bit positive, because that girl saw that it's okay. You know, it's okay that I have a different color skin. I'm not gonna hurt her. She's gonna be fine. Then she ended up apologizing after with one of the ladies, and they're like, we're so sorry. You know, some people don't know better, and this is the sad thing, you know. But I'm sure that situation taught her something, right? So, yeah, that was a really sad whole situation, but it turned into something better, you know. So it happens, though.
Yeah, we're really sorry about that.
In cases when things like that happen, does it affect your game any at all?
No, you know what? For me, I'm the type of person who I have to talk about things. If something's upsetting me, I talk about it, and then I can just like release it and just, you know, okay, it's game time. If I didn't say anything, if I just let the girl say what she did and then whatever, that it probably would affect my game. But I had to reach out to my teammates and like tell them how I'm feeling and stuff. And they're like, and they were supportive. So it helped me before the game. So once it came to game time, it was fine. I erased it out of my mind because I knew it was time for football.
That's very good. What has been the highlight or a major disappointment in your club career so far?
I would say the highlight of my club career. Oh, there's so many. Okay. One, I would have to say.
You was a
There was a time. So I was playing for a Poland Ladies FC, and this is like for Champions League, and our team, we needed to, I think, win the game or tie the game, and we lost. Okay, and then one of my teammates from Ohio State University reached out to me and was like, "Hey, Tip, I saw you guys didn't win, and you might be looking for a team to play on now because, of course, you're out of Champions League. We really need a striker. Like, would you be interested in coming to Israel?" And I was like, "Whoa, Israel! Tell me more." Like, I never thought in my mind that I would ever go there to play, but I was like, "Okay, well, just let me know, like, about the environment, the team and stuff." So she told me everything. And she's like, "Tip, I would never tell you to come somewhere that wasn't safe. We'll take care of you. Don't worry." And I was like, "Okay." Well, I knew at the time that the league wasn't the strongest, but I was like, that didn't matter. I'm like, you know what? I want to go and be the leading goal scorer in that league and help this team like win their first championship. So those are my two goals going into that league, and I was able to accomplish them. So I was actually really proud of that. That's because good. It's like, all right, I think it's so important for players to just set personal goals. It doesn't matter about like the situation around you. It's like what you want to do for you to be better and be impactful. So that was something that I was really proud of. I scored a ton of goals. I think it was like 35 goals or something around there in like 24 games.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so I was really, really happy about that. But there are other like things that I'm really proud of. I think the Worldcup is my biggest accomplishment, like the Women's World Cup, because I've never played in one before. And just because, of course, the process of getting there was like crazy. And I'm really proud of that, I think.
And the disappointment?
Disappointment. I would say when I found out that I had to get surgery. So there was a year in Germany where I was just getting injured, like one injury after the other. It was really, really stressful. And then finally, by the end of the season, I was having issues with my knee. And then I found that I had to get like a minor surgery on it. It wasn't anything too serious, but anytime you hear a knee, you're like, ooh, So I remember I was crying so much because I'm like, oh, how am I gonna bounce back from a knee surgery? Like my body's never gonna be the same again, blah blah blah. My body's way stronger now, so it's like it's the power of the mind. I had to find a way to treat my body more like a temple and give it what it needed, because as you get older, your body changes. So I think I was stuck in the world of, oh, I'm still 21, so I can maybe like lift weights like I'm 20, and I wasn't really paying attention to what my body needed, and that's why I was getting injured so much. So, I spoke to Will, I spoke to Buju, part of the Jamaican national team, and they helped me put together a strength and conditioning program, and literally things have changed since then. So, knock on wood, I haven't been injured since then, since 2018. So let's keep it that way.
Yes, that's good.
But I would say that was my biggest disappointment, for sure.
Tiffany, you've played around the world in Germany, Israel, USA, Hungary. Can you name the 11 clubs that you played in 30 seconds? Of the watch.
Try. That's so hard.
So,
okay.
All right. Begin. Start.
Toronto Lady Lynx, Poland Ladies FC, and Seattle Reign FC, FC Kansas City, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Witzel, FF US Vienna, Stabak, Ferencvaros, a Poland. I don't know if I said a Polonaise actually. Oh my gosh, I think I'm missing one. Oh, this is so nerve-wracking.
Time.
Vermont and Sharon, my Israeli team.
Right. Yes. I wonder if you're going to leave out that one.
Good job.
I was close.
Yeah, very good. What advice would you give to young girls or ladies who want to become professional footballers?
I would say to young girls who want to be professional athletes that, when you're growing up, you play soccer for a certain reason. So it could be because it makes you happy, because it relieves stress, because it excites you for whatever reason. There's going to be a time where things are going to be really tough. And when you're older, and to look back and remind yourself why you played the game in the first place is something that can be a huge motivational factor and push you. So I would say have fun and don't lose what makes you special as a player. You might be placed in different environments, but it's important to keep what makes you special and add value to a team, but also make sure you're open as well too when you're in that environment, because you'll grow the most when you're open.
Okay, good stuff.
As you mentioned that, Tiffany, I want to ask, does the football world makes it easier for male players than female players?
So this is tough because, I think male players and female players do the exact same thing in terms of, we go to training, we have to wake up in the morning, we have to do weights, we have to do appearances, we have to make sure we're at training all the time. We have to perform in games. Like, we're doing all the same things, but unfortunately, females aren't bringing in as much money as men. So that's where you get the huge pay gap. And I wish it wasn't like that, and we're constantly fighting for change in that way. But, I think as we can give our best and hope for change. Hope that we'll get paid more in the future. They'll find ways, more sponsorships, more endorsements for players and stuff, because we're doing the same thing. So it is a little bit disheartening sometimes to know that we're putting in that same work, but we're not getting the funds.
Not getting the same treatment.
Yeah, unfortunately. So.
Tiffany, you're big into music.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh, I started making music when I was, I think, in the 5th grade, and I would write lyrics and stuff. And at first they were terrible, but I was like, whatever. I thought I was like a hardcore rapper. I was so good. And then I didn't start taking things seriously, really, until I moved to the States for university. And I remember asking around and stuff about like any studios in the area, and I actually found one. And then I started recording music in the studio, and I made this song called like Buckeyes Put Your Hands Up. It was actually pretty good. It played in some stadiums in.
Let us hear.
Yeah, man, give us a verse. Give us a verse.
Yeah, we won't get copyright. We won't get copyright.
It is on YouTube actually there. So I made a whole music video and stuff. It was actually really cool. So that's something that's easy. People can just type in on YouTube, Buckeyes Put Your Hands Up, Tiff, and then they'll find the full video. But I also have like a YouTube channel. There's a lot of my experiences like traveling and stuff on there, and some of my music is on there as well too.
So we will look for it and put it in the description below. So fans out there, you can go check out Tiffany's YouTube channel. The link is in the description below.
Yes, and I also have music on Spotify, and iTunes, and Amazon, Apple Music. My artist name is Tiff. I actually put together a song when I was going through my injury. It's called "For the Love of the Game." This is the hook of it. So I didn't do it for the money, nah. I didn't do it for the fame. I didn't do it for the glory, nah. I did it for the love of the game. That's like that's just like female football right there, you know? Just the drive and the passion. But that's one of my best songs, because I talk about overcoming adversity, you know, and the good moments in my career and things that I want to do in the future. And I just think it gave me hope writing that song, and it motivated me. And I'm sure a lot of female athletes, or just athletes in general, can relate to it. So that's a big one that I would want people to check out on Spotify and on iTunes. That song, "For the Love of the Game." And also I work with FIFA as well too. They wanted me to put together something, a couple of like a verse or so, and I did that while I was at the World Cup. And then I ended up making a song called "Our Time Is Now." That's another one that I'm actually pretty proud of as well too. So yeah, people can just Google Tiff, Tiff, and then a bunch of my songs will pop up there.
Okay, awesome. But is there anybody out there you want to big up, Tiff, as we close?
Well, I want to big up my mom. You know, she has been my ride or die. Literally, if I need advice for anything, I will go to her. She's my rock. Like I wouldn't be where I am right now without her being by my side. So, you know, there's also something I forgot to tell you guys earlier, but there was a time where I wanted to quit. I was 14, and I had to wake up really early in the morning, like 5 in the morning, and she would drive me to the soccer center, on the weekends. And I told her, I'm like, yeah, none of my friends are doing this. Like, I just want to be like a regular kid. Like, I'm tired of this. And she was like, Tiff, you came so far. Why would you want to quit now? And she's like, you know, school is really expensive. You would do me a favor, and you do yourself a favor if you stick with it. And I know you want to play for Canada one day, also Jamaica. So, you know, she pushed me, and I looked at her. I'm like, you know what? You make sense. And if it weren't for that conversation, we wouldn't be here right now, and I wouldn't be playing soccer. I'd be a regular kid. So she's definitely someone I want to shout out. You know, my sister as well too have been like a great support system. My university coach, Coach Lori Walker, she's really helped me grow while I was in university. And also Brian Rosenfeld, he was a part of Team Canada program growing up. He really pushed me as well too, pushed me out of my comfort zone and stuff, and really brought the best out of me. And you know, Coach Busby, you know, believing in me, believing that I had the future with Team Jamaica, and like being persistent, being like, Tiff, come on, like we'd love to have you. And just, you know, I had to make that switch. So I'm happy that he was on my side, he was in my corner, and then the rest of the coaching staff like jumped on board, and they're a great support system as well too. And also one of my really good friends, Shinia Luasher, she's amazing. She's helped me grow throughout these past couple of years, and she just has a great soul. And you know, I don't think I would be the person I am today without her in my life. So big ups to her. And big ups to all my friends. Like, I just have so many friends. They're going to be like, Tim, you didn't shout me out. Also, Nicole McClure. And you guys, thank you for giving me this time. And, you know, your sports channel is awesome. And I'll definitely be sending out links to my friends and my family and my family.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, and most importantly, God, we wouldn't be here without him, so I have to also shout him out too.
Which is right.
All right, so we we were going to ask you to list every one of your socials where people can follow you, what you went ahead and listed your social, the YouTube channel and so. But do you have any more social media accounts that you would want to shout out?
Yeah, people can follow me on Instagram, Tiffany_Cameron11. It's spelled exactly as my name. And then also on Twitter, at T_Cameron11. So those two, I'm very active. Well, I would say Instagram I'm the most active on. I'm always posting stuff on my story and photos as well too. So I would say Instagram's the best one to follow. And then also my YouTube channel and then Twitter as well too. Those three I'm extremely active on. So.
Extremely happy that you took the time out to spend some time with us in our virtual studio. And we want to thank you for passing through.
Thank you so much for having me.
There you have it, Sports DTM fans. Another episode of Sports Down the Middle. A quick chat with Reggae Girl Tiffany Cameron as she strikes hard in whichever league she plays, and we just want to highlight her and her achievement. So let us hear from you fans out there by leaving your comments in the comment section below. Remember to like, to share, and to subscribe. This has been another episode of Sports Down the Middle. Be blessed.